There's an age limit over which you can legally use it. You can't under that age. If you sell it or get it for a person under that age, there's severe. I think the person said like a 10-year sentence. So let's say a parent gives a child, I think it's 19 and above in Canada, to use the ganja, and you have it, then you can be severely sanctioned. I think it's like a 10-year imprisonment or something. Only to emphasize that this individual shared, here is something that you can use like ganja, like alcohol, but if you use it and you're driving your vehicle, these are the penalties, these are the consequences, and it's seriously enforced. I think the last point that person made in that instance is that the cultural ethos is that we're going to have this, but it's going to be used in this way and it's going to be enforced in this way, with the view that the society is going to comply and abide by the norms that says you don't use it outside of these quote unquote rules, these laws. All right, let's take this other call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Sterling,
How are you?
you're mumbling again.
Am I?
Yeah, are you bored?
No, I didn't think I was mumbling, but if it sounds that way to you, help me so that it doesn't sound that way, man, because I do not want it to be that way. Talk to me.
My brother, I love you, man.
Well, listen, man, that's the brotherly love that we should have, It's not so much boredom as it is trying to navigate a point.
Stop talking. I got the utmost respect for you.
No, I hear you, man. I hear you. But I wanted to make sure I understand you.
Why? You know why? Because I don't know how you do it. You listen to all these people phone in and complain, and yeah, I can't use foul language. But I just love you, Sterling. You just take it with a pinch of salt, man.
I'm hearing you mostly, so thank you, I think.
I don't want a lecture.
No, I don't mind. I love school.
Baseball 4 times. I don't need a lecture.
I didn't hear that last part. I was having a challenge hearing you, that last part.
I love you, Sterling.
No, before that. Yeah, no, thank you, man. I appreciate the brotherly love, right? And I appreciate what you're sharing. If it sounded like it was mumbling, it certainly was an attempt, but thank you, because it could have been without being conscious.
Sterling, I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, man, you can't do that, man.
My friend, I wanted to ask you a quick question. This new fence they're putting at the airport, do you know anything about that?
Yeah, no, I have one other individual, because I have that challenge hearing you, and the person said I can't hear him clearly either, so I thought it was just me. I turned up the volume on my end, so you said something about the airport. I just didn't hear that part.
There's a new fence, I don't know. I know you Canadians think West Bay is in West Bay, but it's not West. But
okay, so a new fence.
A new fence on Old Crew Road.
Paul?
Airport.
Yeah, okay, the airport. Is it around the airport? A new fence around the airport?
Yes, correct.
Is that metal thing that's supposed to stop the engines from the, I don't know,
No, on the border, on the perimeter fence, Sterling. Yeah, they're building or putting a new fence up. I just wanted to know if you knew anything about that.
No.
On the Old Crew Road section. You know where Old Crew Road is, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, correct. They're putting a new fence there. Do you know anything about that?
No. And for me, Old Crew Road is a section that goes across the south sound, that little piece there, right? Or what are you talking about?
Yeah, well, basically it's from where the pickleball is to Hurley's, if you want to call it that.
Okay, that's not Old Crew Road, right? That's the what's now known after the Honorable Linford Pearson, the Linford Pearson Highway. That section?
No. The small road. Sterling, you're born here. I mean,
yeah, but the problem is people come and they change their names. So when I say go by the breadfruit tree and turn corner by Miss Martha House, all of a sudden now with name Jab Fufu Neem Road, right? Nobody knows where it is. So I lost, man. Help me to find my bearings.
Okay, my friend. Cricket pitch. Pitch to Hurley's.
Okay, so the old agriculture grounds. Okay.
Yeah, no, cricket pitch, not agriculture grounds.
That was the old agriculture grounds. Okay. But you see, so the cricket pitch right there by the close to the airport. All right.
Correct. From
okay.
the cricket pitch two Hurleys.
Uh-huh.
Single road.
Going across Jose's or going up across the new...
Yeah. You got it there.
Okay, so going across the Benaros corner, heading up. All right. So there's a fence there. Okay.
Can you give me your email address? I'll email it to you.
Well, what? Yeah, I don't know what the email is anymore, man.
Sterling, I'm connecting with you, man. No, I would like to know what's going on there because I see they've, I think, got a 2-meter gap between the old fence or the existing fence and new fence. So
yeah.
Find out.
All right, I'll take a drive this afternoon to see because I must share I don't know exactly what you're referring to.
I thought you might not. Don't stress.
Yeah, man. But I wish it was that easy. I find that stressing a bit too much these days. I need more chocolate with sea salt. Yeah. All right, before is that the news headlines now, Mr. Paul? All right, before we take the news, and thank you for keeping us on our toes. Anything else you want to share?
My friend, thank you very much. And I don't know how you do your job, really.
Well, it's prayer, my friend. I'll be honest with you. I would joke and say something else, but I won't be too stressed now. It's prayer. All right, take care, man. And then when we come back, I understand that we'll have the opportunity to join Honorable Minister Brian. So please listen to the news and join us after.
Covering Little Cayman Brian.
Cover me. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Training Center is set to host an upcoming workshop titled Values and Trust, Leading High-Performance Teams, scheduled for Friday, August 23rd. It will delve into the critical roles of values and trust in transforming teams. Facilitated by Tara Bush, a certified trainer in the John Maxwell Leadership Series, the course emphasizes core values and trust for exceptional team dynamics. Chamber Training Coordinator Emily Sintorn highlights the relevance for leaders, managers, and team members aiming to enhance teamwork skills. Additionally, the High Road Leadership course set for Friday, the 6th of September, empowers leaders by fostering self-awareness, accountability, and appreciation for team members. For more information, visit the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce. In regional news, Trinidad and Tobago Police Commissioner Erla Harewood Christopher expressed concern over the shooting death of 6 individuals by police, 4 of whom were under 25 years old. The incident highlights a troubling trend where young people are often primary subjects in criminal investigations. On Wednesday, police fatally shot 6 people, including a 16-year-old girl, during a shootout in Freeport, Central Trinidad. The victims were allegedly involved in 2 home robberies in the central area. Investigations revealed their connection to an armed robbery on August 14th, with police recovering stolen items and 3 firearms at the scene. Harewood Christopher emphasized the need for society to address the issue urgently, involving parents and guardians in guiding youth away from criminal activity. Jamaicans are being urged to take precautionary measures against the deadly Mpox disease, a rare viral infection similar to smallpox. The disease can be transmitted through contact and droplets. The World Health Organization is supporting African countries in their response to curb the Mpox outbreak, which has now become an international global health emergency. Sweden recently reported the first case of the Mpox clade 1 variant outside Africa, indicating a concerning trend. Mpox, formerly known as monkeypox, is endemic to Central and West African countries. It can be transmitted through physical contact with infected individuals, animals, or contaminated objects. The incubation period typically ranges from 6 to 13 days but can extend up to 21 days. That is your latest headlines. I'm Dwayne Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And as we go straight to the phones, I'm told the Honourable Minister Bryan is on the phone. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon again, big brother. It's wonderful to speak to you for a second time today.
Well, for me, I'm grateful for the opportunity, so thank you.
I just thought I'd call because I heard two things that I could have chimed in or opine on to further let people understand. One is the traffic or the marijuana decriminalization as opposed to legalization. And I think probably one of the easiest ways to get people to identify that is quite similar to that of traffic offenses. So if you get a traffic ticket, it's a criminal, it's a violation, it's an offense, but it's not something that becomes criminal. It's traffic related. So it's quite similar. So you get charged for a fee, a ticket, you can lose your license or, be taken to court. It doesn't become a criminal offense, so nothing goes in your criminal record.
Mm-hmm.
In the decriminalization process, it will be somewhat similar to that kind of structure where fees and fines can be implemented, but it won't be a criminal offense. So that's probably the easiest way that the average person.
Would you help? Thanks for clarifying. Would you help me personally to understand that then? So let's say it is now, and for people that don't want to misunderstand, it's not that way now, but if it becomes decriminalized and an individual has a ganja spliff, I mean, that's the terminology I know, so hopefully that's not offensive. They have one in there, sit in the backyard or they're, I don't know, at the beach. Police officer comes up. It's now decriminalized. You have that. You're smoking it, watching the sunset. That now is not a criminal offense, but you can be charged. You can pay a fine. I mean, how does that work out? Is it an offense? I mean, can you be arrested for it? Can you be fined for it if it's decriminalized?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a ticketable offense. So you would say, I'm giving you a ticket for being in possession of a uncontrolled or controlled substance.
Right.
And you have to show up in court and pay. Just like how you get pulled over for a ticket.
So how does that help anybody? I mean, I'm trying to, and I really appreciate you helping me because I'm thinking if a person is sitting down with a beer, that's legal once they're of age and they have a cigarette, they just went into the cigarette shop and they bought a cigarette and they're of age, the police not gonna bother them, right? But if they're smoking a ganja spliff, just sitting there having a spliff, wherever that is, they can still have to end up in court if it's decriminalized.
Yeah, because it's decriminalized, it's not legalized. I mean,
I understand. Yeah.
Two different options. So
right.
I answered your own question. If you're saying how does that help the person, what it does is still make it illegal because you're not promoting continued consumption.
Mm-hmm.
What you're trying to do is make sure it doesn't ruin their life by way of record. So it's like the in between legal and illegal, right? So it's the decriminalization. So it's a middle ground because I don't think that, I mean, it's my humble opinion.
Yeah.
You get as many people in support of legalizing it as you would get it to decriminalize it. Because most people will all agree that you would not want to ruin anyone's life or the consumption of a marijuana spliff. So I think that's the concept between the two. One is all out, just making it become normal like alcohol, because at one point alcohol was illegal and they were going through that same discussion about it as well until it became common substance and regulated by age and where you can do it and all those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Society, I believe, is at a point where they would be open to considering decriminalization.
Okay, but would that lead potential? Yeah, and I don't wish. I mean, as much as I love to understand and engage in meaningful dialogue with sensible people like yourself, I can understand. But would that lead to potential abuse, the use and overuse of quote unquote discretion? So here's the young person having a smoke somewhere, for whatever reason, and I'm not promoting, advocating, condoning otherwise, right? But the officer comes up and decides, you know what, this is an opportunity for something. I mean, are we opening up the doors for more harm than good?
I don't know. That could be, you could be right. But I guess what we're saying is we as a society need to decide a balance. And that balance,
I hear you.
We don't even want that either. So in like any topic and discussion, if remember now, this came from the basis of other people saying that it should be under referendum as well, right? So that people can choose.
Right.
And throughout the discussion, I think positions like that would be determining factors of whether somebody was supported or not, to say, okay, well, decriminalizing it is encouraging it. So you're trying to fix one problem and maybe creating another one. I think there's scope for discussion.
Yes.
But what we do know is the conversation isn't going away. And I'm the type of leader that I believe in. When there's difficult conversations to be had, let's have them. We can't keep on hiding.
Exactly.
Right?
Face it on, hit on, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what the answers are to those, because they're all subjective. There's a level of, you may think of it in one way, and I may think of it in
exactly.
another.
Yeah.
And you leave the devices of democracy to take rule, where what the majority says, and that's how life works. But the second point I wanted to call in on was, I think the gentleman was calling about the fence at the airport, may be referring to the new regulatory the requirements that the airport has to put in a second fence on the inside of the current fence, because according to the international airport regulations, you're supposed to have two fences, so that if somebody jumps over the other one, the probabilities of getting over to the next one is a lot harder to keep the airport safe. So the airport is going through that process now. I'll put a second fence with I can't remember the exact distance. I think it may be 4 feet. I could be wrong, but there's going to be a second fence alongside the edging of the current fencing on the inside. So that's maybe what he was talking about being aware of that. But that's just a safety matter that we're obligated to by way of the airport, because I'm the minister for the airport as well.
Right.
And that maybe he was speaking about. Okay?
And I appreciate that. And if we could, because we had a subsequent message that was also asking about, I won't use how they phrased it, but I guess they're talking about that security kiosk as you're going into the airport, you're driving in, and that's there. And if I might, through you, ask, is that there because of sort of international aviation requirements?
Correct. Okay. Correct. So the regulations that we're bound by is based on the UK's model, and no vehicle can come within a certain distance of an airport without being checked. And normally, if you go to, like, for instance, Heathrow, you have to be a licensed, known transporter in order for you to get that close. If not, you'd have to park a distance away and walk.
Right.
And that's due to past, unfortunate terrorist behavior and so forth. So it's became a new international norm upon which we're obligated to as well.
Right.
So ultimately, what they were suggesting in the last airport redevelopment, but it wasn't considered at the time. 1 second. I'll come in with the bags now. Give me 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for taking time, yes.
No problem. Just dropping off some school bags for some kids.
Yeah.
One of the things that should have been done when we were redeveloping is actually the drop off and pick up supposed to be a certain distance away. So if you remember, at one point they had this weird setup first initially, and people were really upset about it, going, why is it we got to get out of the car so far away? Mm-hmm. Ultimately, after negotiations with the regulators, international regulators who approve our airport to be open in the security component, that was a compromise whereby each vehicle has to go past a security checkpoint. So at any point in time when you're going to the airport to drop off or pick up, that security checkpoint can stop you and say, why are you here? What are you doing? Take a look at the vehicle and so forth. But because there's a lot of times they seem repeat people who are doing it, and because we're a close-knit community, you see that people are commonplace. Oh, that's a taxi. Oh, that's a tour operator. Oh, that's one of the workers. That's a official. But sometimes when they don't recognize the car, they say, okay, can I help you? and
Right.
they'll come drop off somebody and say, who you dropping off, what flight. And they ask little small questions just to verify that, you're not in a security breach, so to speak.
I appreciate that. So then, keeping the vehicles from a certain distance. But then if you go into the short-term parking, you can still get fairly close to the airport parking in short-term, right?
Well, believe it or not, actually the distance from where the short-term parking stops to the actual building would have been the perfect distance as per the regulations.
Okay.
So technically speaking, the road for the drop-off would be actually through the short-term parking. And why we didn't do that, because it would have taken so much redevelopment of the parking space and everything else. This was a short win without spending millions of dollars to renovate the whole thing. This was the way we could have avoided that process and still make it a meaningful drop-off pickups.
See, you explaining things, people listening, they understand. So really appreciate the clarification.
No problem at all. That's my job, big brother. God bless you. God bless the listeners. And have a wonderful day.
All right. Have a good weekend. There's a WhatsApp call, I believe, and a break. I see it on this end, sir. What are you seeing? All right. Okay. Final break, I think, is that what we're saying. And then if you're trying to reach us on the 925-32621, you want to get on air, you got to call using the WhatsApp. All right. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Refer a friend and get $50 to spend when your friend or family member opens a personal account with Cayman National. From July 9th to September 30th, 2024, C&B customers can earn $50 for each referral who opens an individual or joint personal account. Earn up to $500 with a maximum of 10 referrals. Visit CaymanNational.com for more details on this promotion and follow us on social media for updates. Terms and conditions apply.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The mission of the National Conservation Council and the Department of Environment has worked to protect and conserve the unique plants, animals, and habitats that make the Cayman Islands so special. Learn more at conservation.ky.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
There can only be one. Get ready for the thrilling finale of the 2024 Siwa National Tour. The fourth and final race kicks off at 11:30 a.m. Sunday, August 25th at Collier's Public Beach in East End. Watch division leaders Nathan McLean, Joshua Watler, Brandon Elliott, and Rennie Ortega battle to claim their season championship. There can only be one leader of the pack. The 2024 Siwa Tour is sponsored by Car City, Cayman Islands Coast Guard, Cayman Islands Fire Service, Pepsi, Fast Signs, JNM Equipment, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Party Animals, Seabreeze Charters and Jet Ski Rentals, Verdant Isle Farms, Health City, Cayman Islands, National Logistics, Onshore IT, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM. The 2024 Siwa Final, 11:30 a.m. Sunday, August 25th at Collier's Public Beach in East End. Champions are founded upon the seas.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. And as we go to the phones, say thank you for calling.
Hello, Dwayne.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm calling back again. No, Mr. Starlin.
Yes, sir.
How,
Look, I gotta say this in a what do you call it, psychotic way or what?
Sarcastic way?
Sarcastic way.
Uh-huh.
Some of our elected politicians, if you put their brain in a little go-kart, they couldn't make a circle run a chariot. I'm telling you, from the way they talk. Look here, it's better to be a fool and keep your mouth shut than speak right out and erase all doubt. Mr. Dwayne Ebanks.
Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, yes, sir.
That's all right. And the people of the Cayman Islands, they have a little bit of education and one sanguine of common sense. When ganja is now illegal, so any amount of ganja they catch you with, you can be prosecuted. You might go to jail, you might get a fine, but you can be prosecuted. Any amount.
Uh-huh.
For consuming or even refusing, you still go to court. No, Mr. Dean, I am fighting for decriminalization of, when you decriminalize, that means it has to have a limit, an end.
Uh-huh.
So, right now, if they decriminalize it, they put a limit. John Public, marijuana decriminalized, you can grow 5 trees in your yard, in your house. Anything over 5 marijuana plants at any given time, you can be taken to court and you can be fined for illegal marijuana. Just like how the law stand now. Is that simple? No. You know, the processed marijuana, which would mean that it can be smoked now, you allow 2 ounces in your house, your car, and your fishing boat at any time. If you get catch with more than 2 ounces, you can be charged the same way now for possession of ganja with intent to supply or whatever, but your limit is 2 ounces, 5 trees, 10 trees, whatever.
Right.
Now, Mr. Green,
Yes, sir.
you can put a sign on your restaurant, on your patio, on your beach, no ganja smoking on my beach. So, they can say that the man don't want you there, you don't smoke it. And if you smoke it, then the police can say, well, we can set out at the pine smoking in a public place, just like how the cigarette says, in an indoor place, where you can pay $200. So that is so simple. But they don't compare with a car ticket and somebody smoking a slip on the beach. No. If you go over the prescribed limit, that's what decriminalization means. For God's sake, don't we realize that there are millions and millions of dollars going back to Jamaica, all over the world for marijuana, that we the people could be growing here for ourselves. Now the medical one, we should be able to grow that and sell that to the pharmacy too. And that would be controlled by the government, because in Jamaica right now, you got several small farmers. They are growing each one of the trees. They are tagged. If Elvis, you got 1,000 trees, when we come to harvest, those 1,000 trees harvested, they're going direct to Canada. And you can check that up. It is going on. Jamaica is making billions of dollars out of it legally. And ganja in Jamaica is, and telling them, all of them know how the system is in Jamaica. Every one of them know. But they're just playing for that know. They're trying to make the little people that now checking about it, that just want
Yes, sir.
a little bit in peace. You understand?
Yeah.
Every farm in Jamaica now, I think, can go 10 plants in 2 ounces. And even if you're living on a rental property, you can make agreement with the landlord that you can make you grow your little 5 plants, 2 plants, or whatever. But that's agreement between you and the landlord, right? It is simple as if B, C. And a bottom, we have a ganja culture everywhere. Look now, I see Rastaman over the place. Remember when Bob Marley couldn't come here do it?
Yeah, remember?
You remember when Bob Marley could not come to Cayman?
Yeah.
You know, everywhere. I don't know, I see Rasta.
Yes,
So
that was...
we have the culture there, the weed is there. Brother Dwayne, started rolling papers and have papers is a part of my business. The government is talking stupidness. The police wanted to take come there to trouble my people. Just when I first home years ago, 20 odd years ago, that I was the first one started selling papers up in there. And you know what I told the police? You can get every paper in my store, but you're paying for them. Say, why? Because I say I pay duties on them. And anything that I pay duties on in the Cayman Island is legal. Legal.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Dwayne, if they want to decriminalize, like I tell all the young ganja smokers on the register for the election, and if they don't decriminalize it before next election, vote them out. Vote them out.
All right. Mr. Elvis?
All right. Yeah.
Talk to you soon. I want to take the other calls, all right?
Yeah, man. Cool.
All right, cool. All right, hey, thanks for the education. As we take the next call, say welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon to you. I'm Sterling Green.
And to you, sir. How are you today?
I don't have much time to say what I want to say, so
yes, sir.
leave most of it for another time. I'm thankful for the minister for coming out, being so forthright, and talking about these very important issues.
Yes, sir.
Didn't know your show would be all kicked up about talking about ganja. And so I understand quite well Mr. Elvis, and he's absolutely right. Common sense should take and should prevail. It's very simple. You can do certain things. With that, you leave it to common sense. They can easily do. They have to explain the difference to people. We are not all lawyers. What is decriminalization and legalization? What's the difference and so forth? And this, I think, is a big stumbling block with the whole thing. But anyway, I'm not going to concentrate on that. We talked earlier on this morning about the economy being consumption economy. All economies are consumption. And you have two types of that. It blends into place. The service base and the manufacturing aspect of it. Many countries are manufacturing countries, most of them, and the giant countries, we all know. Manufacturing and service-based, and sometimes it blends together. The same people who are servicing are part of the manufacturing aspect of it. Nothing about that. We're afraid of the word our elected representatives, taxation. We are a consumption-based taxation economy. Our taxation is consumption-based. That's what the consumption is. We have a system where enough is never good enough. With consumption-based taxation only, it has to be more, and more. That's consumption-based. If we were taxing people, because fees are taxes, we are afraid to call it the proper word. We would base our economy on the people who are coming in here, and they would pay a tax on their salaries. It's so simple. Every other country does it. They would be taxed on what they earn. It's the only fair system of taxation. You pay according to what you earn. And there'd always be unemployment consumption-based portion of that, where if you're unemployed, which most countries, most people would not be unemployed, only a small percentage, and then they would collect on that what they have paid into whilst they were employed. It's very simple instead of collecting your pension. But we keep putting this off and not are afraid of talking about it, and we know it has to come. We pay attention to what Dr. Nick Gent said in that brilliant dissertation about the health insurance problem. We would see exactly what I'm talking about,
right,
which will be converted into a health tax that people simply pay into.
Now, Mr. Mickey, the Honorable Tourism Minister has shared that he wants to extend his apologies because this morning he may have left out the word tax, but he says you are correct and he's in agreement with you about the term consumption tax-based system.
That's what we are.
Yeah. So he's in agreement with you. And
I understand,
yeah.
And I applaud him very much for it because what he has to understand, and he knows that, what he's proposing is supported by the opposition of well-oiled machinery. The opposition, which is cohesive and together, and they supported a pair. And we know we're going to have to build. This is my opinion and the opinion of many others. We're going to have to build a cruise ship here if we're going to stay in the cruise ship business. He stated that. It's so simple. We need a gambling a law. We don't have to have a referendum for that. Everyone knows about that. Pass a law to legalize gambling. It's so simple. We cannot have lottos or anything else without that. Just pass a law to legalize gambling. It's not legal in Cayman. It's not legal. But the here we know they would support it. They all would support it. So we can leave that for the general elections to put that on it if we choose to do it. Right. My way would be to put it to the representatives and let them do that.
Right.
But sorry about the background noise.
That's okay, sir. Thank you for sharing all the same, all right?
What I'm saying is I'll talk to you another time about it.
Yes, sir.
But it's simply put, we have to understand, when we talk about minimum wage and so forth, it cannot be properly enforced. It can't be without direct income tax. It's the chairman of it, Mr. Lem Hurlston, did say so 10, 12 years ago, whenever it was, and he did say so again. You cannot enforce minimum wage without direct income tax. Anyone can see that. It can't happen. You must have direct income tax. So it's futile almost to do these things, and don't mix it up with a living wage. That's provided by union. What is supposed to be the charges that different professions charge. But minimum wage has nothing to do with that. It's a minimum which anyone can exist in any country. It's a simple thing.
Right.
Let us stop making these things complicated. Thank you for listening to me. Have a wonderful day.
And you do the same, sir. And thanks very much. Is there one final call, sir? All right, one final call. Thank you. Welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Dwayne.
How are you today, man? How are you?
Okay. And you?
Oh, very, very thankful, yeah.
Okay. I heard Minister Brian explaining the decriminalization of marijuana. And it seems as though you're still able to get in trouble for it.
That is, I think, part of what, as Mr. Mika was just sharing, may be the confusion that there's a difference between legalizing something and decriminalizing. And when it's decriminalized, it's still an offense. It's not legalization, right? And I think as Mr. Elvis called in, he said if you put in place parameters that your possession of this thing within 5 plants or 10 plants, whatever he said, or 2 ounces or whatever, that is okay. But And this is only a cursory read from sort of published accounts. One of the challenges that some sort of notable heads have put forward is that it creates a lot of space for discretion that could lead, to circumstances that are unintended.
Okay? But right now, homosexuality is legal once it's indoors. And if a police officer comes to two apartments, number 1 and number 2, and he goes into number 2,
he's coming. Yeah.
And there's a man, two men or 2 women in there having homosexual acts. The police are not able to do them anything besides tell them they're sorry for breaking in their place. He goes into apartment number 1. A guy is sitting down in there, probably him and his woman after work, watching the news, smoking a spliff. They grab the 2 of them and they carry them and lock them up. And in the eyes of Jesus Christ and God Almighty, homosexuality is so much times worse that Jesus Christ and God Almighty don't even like to look upon it. So, and another thing concerning gambling. Gambling is a serious addiction. If you think we're having family problems now with people not finding money for things that they need to do with their money, then if you legalize gambling, you're going to see a lot of people and a lot of families having a lot of financial problems. And when it comes to the cruise ship pair, we cannot allow these cruise ship people to try to scare us, to make us feel afraid of them if we don't do what they say. Because if that cruise ship pair is built, not only the ocean is going to be destroyed, but the land will also be destroyed from the sea surge. And common sense tells you that. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. And as we close out, Minister Brian, shares that as leaders, in response to Mr. Maker's comments, cannot and should not, dictate these issues on the people. The people in the democracy must have their say. And perhaps that's where the PPM went wrong in his, humble opinion. And this is crucial. If we're going to participate in our democracy, we have to recognize the importance of doing so. So please get registered to vote. We understand there will be a referendum according to the last government counts, in that before the end of the year, there is expected another general election, possibly, April as expected, but get registered to vote. Many have given their utmost to ensure that those freedoms to vote are protected and preserved, and for some, they fought to attain that. So let's not take it for granted. May I go one step further and invite you to consider strongly, being a part of the political process, getting involved with an individual or individuals, perhaps being, on the platform and campaigning, perhaps being a candidate. If there are issues that you are concerned about for the betterment of the country, get involved. There is a significant cost, I believe. Many of us may not fully appreciate the demands on the politicians' time. For many of us, and perhaps all of us, in some capacity or the other, yet we want them to focus on policy, on making good laws and the like, ensuring the good governance of the country. And yet, at the same time, we want them at our behest to do all sorts of things. It is as it is now, what has been, but perhaps it is time for us to rethink, what can and should and how we wish it to be. And so let's do so by participating in the process. Good discussion and even disagreement is healthy, but has to be responsible and respectful. And maybe some of us can't talk without shouting or cursing. But even in that instance, if we're able to listen to the other, person's opinion, that might not be so bad. But if we can express ourselves in a way that doesn't involve that, well, that might be better. Again, it's just a perspective. Please have a truly amazing, safe, wonderful, that's perhaps what we give. We can't take it with us, so let's leave behind something of value. A legacy that speaks to honesty and integrity, an action that created positivity and productivity, a mind that was pensive, but also a mind that was so engaged that it inspired and encouraged others as the hands nurtured through the help that was offered. Until Monday, my friends, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you.